I mean, both of these teams, unfortunately, this is the losers final. We had to say goodbye to Team Gap. F for them, but unfortunately, this is another round where we'll have to bid adieu to another one of these talented teams. Now, they made their way all the way through every single month to get here, and unfortunately, the dream is gonna end. The road is gonna end for one of them in this series.
Yup, a lose and then off you go. You're sent back packing back to OCE and you have no way to get into Worlds this year. But take a look at this, right? This composition coming in from both sides is pretty interesting. First off, 1620 sticking to that old school Hooper, or should I say the new school Hooper coming in, while Ground Zero sticking into their guns with their old school Elder Gods. We have not seen Elder Gods until, this comeback coming into this regionals as well. So that is a really interesting matchup where, old school going up against new school.
I mean, Dawn definitely put in a lot of work on that Elder Gods, creating so much space for Cinder Ace to work with, but at the end of the day, it just wasn't enough. So we'd like to see Ground Zero leverage a bit more on their damage dealers. Now, Joe, in a bit of trouble, but gonna be able to scatter himself out of that situation.
Yep, Joe right here really have to try to reach into level 5 so that he could get into the Ivy Saw stage and try to do a little bit of disruption. But right here in the bottom side as well, Chill and Good Challenge is actually, challenging that 1620 Kings. Because right here, Buster have to be really careful right here because if he got caught in those freezes, he might be in a bad position.
Exactly. Alolan Ninetales is an absolute terror in this early stage of the game, especially with the passive just raining in snow when you least expect it. We saw them get a sneaky 2 KO just yesterday in what was one of the highlight moments for me at least. But Challenge, I think it's so hard not to call him chilling, right? Because he is just straight up vibing in this bot path right now. He's sitting happy.
Yep, chilling, with the Ice-type Pokemon doing its thing. Those freezes and those crowd control coming in from the Alolan Ninetales is going to be doing a lot of difference coming into this fight. Just freezing this all-rounder, not allowing them to do too much. If a Serena is frozen, she is in a very bad position as the whole of Ground Zero might zone her down.
I mean, the biggest thing is that Aurora Veil. That's what we always talk about with this Pokemon. The flat percentage damage reduction can go a long way against all these all-rounders that are sort of forced to fight close up, right? Nobody's going to be too far away, which means every single target that they could potentially go on will be protected by that Veil. We're going to have to see that whether the placement from Challenge can come into play here and really help the team just stay strong.
Yep, it's not just the Aurora Veil, but those healings coming in from Elder Gods and the Blissey as well. Those sustainability is just too much to handle. And down goes the Machop to that Ninetales as well. As what we said, as a Machop, you have to be really careful to not get frozen by this Alolan Ninetales.
I think that just goes across the board, right? 1620 Kings, the last thing they want to do is get caught up frozen in their tracks. But now Captain TEMKH already onto this Dreadnought, but starting to get laid into by Suluwu. Dragon Dance away, but Dawn is on the chase. And they get the Dragonite down. Danger, he replies back straight away. We'll pick up onto Suluwu as well as Luge. On that Blissey, it's the Challenge, last one left. There's the Freeze, onto the Serena. Is it enough? The shields are there, but they aren't there for Challenge. He's gonna go down, and Danger just really makes it work for his team. Comes down in the nick of time and stomps them all to the ground. It's a bit of an awkward situation now because both teams, they used a lot of resources to make it down here, but the Dreadnought is reset. Looks like it's gonna be a bit of extended one. There's the Blazing Bicycle kick, so going in. Suluwu, he wants to touch onto all of them. 1620 Kings, they're focusing down Dean, and he's gonna drop. They know the Serena is their problem, so they take him down first. Hooper to follow, Ken. Not gonna be so lucky. That's Draco Impact in from Captain TMH. Can he be the savior of this fight? He's put on master classes on this Dragonite before, but he is not gonna have long left to fly in the sky. He's gonna get clipped down, and on this Dreadnought, Ground Zero stake their claim. This objective is ours.
Ground Zero got that Dreadnought, but take a look at the central area on Ground Zero's side. A Machamp is running loose in the central area, taking all their central Pokemon and all their auras away from Ground Zero. This might be the turning point coming into 1620 because it's already at the Machamp right now as those 4 arms will be punching their way through Ground Zero.
Yeah, we talked about the ball art format of Ground Zero, but right now they're looking towards the Machamp. They want to punish him, manages to get away with the move speed from that Unite move. The Suluwu Rabbit falls again. They found him. Dean is going to pay for that, but they're going to be A-OK with that. 1620 Kings, they're gathering for the defense. Bliss Assistance on the Joe. There's the Venusaur trying to run through them and manages to get that Hoopa as well. Starting to run a rampage here, and Ground Zero, what looked like a little bit of a tough one for them, ends up being pretty good as they are able to take down the Tier 1 Gold Zone.
Ground Zero just aim down that most prized target. That Serena is too much to handle. Take him out first. Take out the Dragon Knight Dink so that he can't secure any last hits. And not forgetting Lucius pushing 1620 back to their base as well, while Ground Zero manages to score and let that Rotom much down to the tier 2.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised that 1620 actually opted for that fight because it started out with Buster being forced to retreat. There wasn't a reset available for him because Kian actually used the portal earlier on. So they started that fight off already on the back foot, and I feel like there was just too much for Dean and Captain TEMH to get done.
Yep, and right now it's not all about farming back up, right? Buster, level 10 right now. Things is looking good for him. Those NTCCs coming in from this Machamp might make a difference coming in against the Alola Ninetales, but unable to get caught by Ground Zero, able to get out there alive. But it seems like right here, Ground Zero is not allowing 1620 to breathe.
Absolutely, Ground Zero just ping-ponging to the top and bottom paths, getting pickoffs and objectives along the way. Both their tier 1 Gozo still standing strong, and they're in prime position to get this Dreadnought. No! Kian parks the Unite move just to melt to the ground. Challenge is all over there. Challenge is just all over that Hoopa, and there's a huge Unite move and a huge member down. There's Buster in with the Barrage Blow, not enough to steal it away. Suluo gets the last touch, but can he get out of here? Yes, he can, wiping out the entire side of the Kings. No one to fall for Ground Zero, and the ball up composition is online. The Kings are forced to scatter and give up their throne for now in the bot path.
Where is Ginger in the fight? Where is Dean? Dean was in the central area, just rotating straight right down. He was too slow to join the fight. Hoopa unable to get the Unite move off for 1620. Immediately, that Serena has no choice but to take the long way down. Ground Zero took advantage of the numbers, and they have 5 men at the bottom, and they just took 1620 apart. Break that tier 1, and they are on the road.
Yeah, Moonboy, I didn't know Ground Zero opened the ping pong professional team the way they're just bouncing up and down all across the map. They're just doing it so cleanly, right? It's kind of looking, it's so smooth for GZ. I feel like this was the GZ that we were expecting, and they're bringing that level of pressure to the table right now. And look at this. This is something that we see some of the best teams do as well, delaying that Rotom take as much as possible to extend the amount of time this objective can be pressured.
Yeah, this, moving forward into the final stretch, they want those additional member from as a Rotom to just push them a little bit. Take a look at this. Ground Zero immediately taking up position near the pit. So this way, 1620 is a little bit delayed by the Rotom, and they have no choice but to rotate in late down to the Legendary's pit.
Yeah, they're all sneaking around here. It looks like they don't want to breach because they don't see any member of Ground Zero. They don't want to run up into a brush and get caught. But there is the jump, a sneaky one. Ken opens the portal. There it is. Gonna bring the rest of the squad in. But here they are. Draco Impact straight onto the back line. Dawn pops the Counter Cloud Crash. Trying to keep challenge up. But the Queen's Descendant onto that Ninetales. Still standing strong in the Aurora Gale though. Danger can't get the opening. Sulu is kiting. Sulu is getting the KO. Sulu gets the touch of the Danger. There is the KO. But the Zapdos falls to Ground Zero. And you may be called the Kings, but we have the crown on top of our heads. Sulu grabs it for himself, gets the kite off, and just like that, Zapdos is there.
Those left-right maneuvers coming in by Sulu was just so clean. You guys have seen this Bunny playing like a soccer player. He's like Ronaldo on fire, ladies and gentlemen. There we have challenge being caught as well, but nothing could stop Ground Zero from winning that fight right there in this legendary pit. No one fell from Ground Zero. 5 men so strong. Those sustainability coming in from those support Pokemon is just too good, ladies and gentlemen.
Yo, someone needs to tell me what brand of shoes Sulu is wearing. He's just hot-footing it up on these guys, just dodging out danger. We talked about the strength of these all-rounders being able to get on top of these attackers who are a bit more frail, but with his kiting capabilities, he's just keeping himself out of danger's way. And just because of that, 1620 Kings, they need to go for a last hurrah push in this bot path. Danger pumping out the damage with the storms. It's not enough. Sulu is going to take him down. And now Joe with the last touch. No sneaky dunk for you. Dawn still holding the top half, and he's alone here. Yeah, they're gonna be able to dunk, but it's only 7 points. It's 133 to 700, and they know they don't really have an opening here. Look at Sulu, he's back to defend. Ground Zero, they're pushing from the central area. They're pushing their advantage. Another 24, another 24, another 32. Rack them up and stack them high. The new Kings are here. Not gonna go quietly away. Lower bracket, that doesn't matter at all. We're here for the trophy. We're here for London, and we're gonna take that game number 1.
The new kings are here. I'm afraid you're wrong, Permasneeze. They are the titans of OCE and they want to stay that way. And they're telling the kings to back off because this is our throne and you have nowhere near it.
Absolutely, 1620 Kings, they know that the game plan of Ground Zero is, hey, we want to stand there and we want to kite you around and stay in this ball. And Dangerous, he's just like, yeah, I can do that. I can do that. He picks up the Duraludon. He's just gonna be a sitting, basically tag, just blasting them from his stationary position. And we're gonna have to see which one of these teams comes out on top. Like we said, 1620 Kings, they came a long way to be here, but they are up against the titans of OCE. They're up against the kings of the region, and they're gonna have a lot to prove if they want to win this game and keep their hopes alive.
Yep, that is exactly what you said. So it's right here, it's all or nothing for 1620. One slip and off you go. You're packing back home. But right here, Ground Zero is just standing their ground. They want to get into the grand finals. They want to get to London, and they have to get past 1620 first.
It would be kind of crazy if Ground Zero don't make it. There's only one slot for Oceania, so it's going between whoever wins this game and Iceland for that ticket. Now, GZ, they've been the most winning team of the whole region, so it'll be a huge upset if 1620 Kings are not only able to turn around this game number 2, but reverse sweep this series. Now, we're seeing a lot of, a bit more cookie cutter, not a lot of aggression going on, but now that Greedon has fully evolved, we're already seeing him make that motion into finding Suluwu in the central area.
Yep, take a look at the top right, on the right side of the screen as well. The Elder Gods is only at level 3. It's not even at the Elder Gods stage yet. So, if 1630 Kings could put this up and put the pressure onto him, like Dawn might not be able to evolve this early in the game. Buster on the Storm as well. And there we have, Magician taking home that particular Citrus Berry for him to survive. Captain Tam to just stop Ground Zero, but there's no farm for them to get those levels.
I love this move coming in from the captain. He recognizes that he can put a dent in Joe's early game plan of just quietly farming up, and he just applies that pressure. It doesn't really deny him a lot as well, but Lush actually getting the last touch onto Dean, gonna be able to KO that Duraludon.
Yep, I mean, Duraludon going down so early into the game, but however, Blissey is already at level 6. You have to be really, that's where Blissey starts. It's magic, right? 8 Bomb is probably going to be online pretty soon as well. But there we have, Bamco not allowing them to do anything. But immediately, Challenge, is just pushing him around. And I believe Bamco might not be walking out of this alive.
I mean, Bamco literally walks out of this. I don't know what to tell you. He's a greeter, but why are you lying to the audience? He's literally out. But the Buster might not be out for long. Getting in a lot of trouble. Suluwu rains in the damage. Another blaze kick forward onto Kian. Opens the portal, but there's no reinforcements coming. They can't make it to the goal zone, and GZ knows that. They capitalize. There is a Leaf Tornado. It isn't going to net them the KO, but it's at least going to let Suluwu get that dunk in. Another portal up. But once again, 1620 Kings, they're not in position because they're taking that Dreadnought for themselves. Now, GZ, they need to answer back in a big way here. Lush going for the 30 dunks. Meanwhile, Challenge being pressured up and taken down. So both of these teams choosing their different moments to strike. 1620 Kings trying to get an advantage in the bot side, while Ground Zero have taken the advantage at the top side.
Yep, I mean, at this point in time, it looks pretty fair or pretty even coming in from both sides as well. But however, the Dragon Knight is already at level 10. So you gotta be really careful coming in with those Draco Impact into Hyper Beams, right? So, Ground Zero maybe have to be a little bit aware of what Captain Tam is trying to do. Danger on the push, Dragon Pulse. They are not breaking that bottom tier 1 as well. Very flop coming in as well. Suluwu might be a little bit of a problem, but get Danger in the process. And I believe Bamco has no choice but to retreat off this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think chilling. It's so hard because he plays along the Ninetales. But Challenge, he was a bit of pickle there because he was pressured on for so long. Didn't seem like there was any help coming. But Ground Zero finally make the swoop down to this bot path. They're leaving 1620 Kings. They're actually leaving their Serena in the top half for now, as there is a duel. Ground Zero trying to lay in the hurt and push 1620 Kings away.
Yep, leaving the Serena on top, probably, just allowing him to buff up a little bit more on those attack weights. But it seems like, he's just delaying the timing just before breaking the top path so that, maybe the bees could be spawned a little bit more into their favor compared to, just stuck in the middle. But right here, Ground Zero immediately rotating straight right to the central area as well. It seems like Ground Zero is into something sneaky.
Yeah, Ground Zero looks like they're up to something. They know that there is... okay, so one thing to point out for 1620 Kings is that they do have the Hoopa advantage. So they can bring in anyone from anywhere on the map. The Hoopa has already hit the level 9, so Rings Unbound is online. Both teams just quietly waiting around. Buster gonna face check that one. That was a little bit scary, I'm not gonna lie. But look at that Mexican standoff. They both know the other is just waiting around in the brush. But once again, the Hoopa advantage. Don throwing the Leaf Tornado, and they're gonna bite the bait. There is the Rings Unbound popped open from Kian, but there is the Counter Cloud Crash as well. Everyone surging towards this Dreadnought, and Don trying to keep his teammates up and running. Look at the amount of shields, look at the amount of sustain. There's the Hyperspace Fury onto Sulumu, but not able to take him down. Already 3 members of the side of Ground Zero down, and Joe is standing strong. Takes out the captain and takes out the objective for his squad. This squad, that Hoopa, is going to be the last one remaining. Missed the portal home and can't really contest the Queen's Ascendant. 1620 Kings, they want to repel these attackers, and Buster is going to get the first KO onto that Elticos, but there's not much else to be found. Captain Team MH though, he's still searching, but he doesn't have a lot left to offer. Finally, there is the Greedon, who's been missing in action this entire time, but nothing to be found. That is Ground Zero walking away.
Well, Ground Zero literally took that fight to 1620. I think the MVP right there is definitely going straight right to Dawn. That Cotton Cloud Crash literally allowed the team to have a little bit more breathing space. It's okay that we can face the Rings Unbound, but we have a lot more sustainability compared to yours. Rotom immediately going straight right to 1620 as Buster just stole it off Ground Zero's nose.
Yeah, Challenge couldn't afford to... I mean, Alola Ninetales has a lot of burst, but with this Aurora Veil build, it's more about those booster auto attacks coming out. And taking advantage of that, 1620 King is going to swoop in with the Serena and just steal that with a stomp. Now, not the biggest of deals. I'm sure Ground Zero would have liked that, but, you know, it's just a small little boost of EXP at this point. Not the most major thing.
Yep, at this point in time, you are not looking for a fight coming in from both teams, right? So what you want to do is just farm up as much as possible. But it seems like Captain Ten might be caught up by Suluwu in the central area.
Ooh, there's the Blaze Kick forward, but has the Hyperspace hole right under him, so gonna be able to get the reset. Suluwu doesn't really have that luxury. Now Buster's gonna break open this tier 1 go zone, 43, which isn't the biggest overdunk. It's just an overdunk by a little bit of 2 points, but it does keep them even in terms of the score. Now 20-point disparity as both of these teams, they're just trying to mop up as much EXP on the map as they can before this final stretch rolls around.
You guys realize how Ground Zero is just sticking together and not being in the diameter of that Dragon Pulse. And that is what, you know, Ground Zero is all about. That calculator move coming in. And they are literally playing around that Durandalon and not allowing that Dragon Pulse to hit them.
Absolutely, and they're gonna claim a free Dreadnought because of that. I don't think 1620 Kings, with the way that they're split, I don't think they can afford to send some reinforcements to this bot path, but now this is gonna be the decider. Moonboy, both of these teams have waited so long for this moment. For 1620 Kings, they made a brilliant run so far, but then it might just all be over in an instant. They've caught Suluwu. Can they finish off the Cinder Ace? Yes, they can. There's Joe, standing strong. He's been such a thorn in their side for most of the game, but Deandra is there, raining in the damage. Can they take anyone on 1620 Kings down? It might be Kian to start, but they're looking towards the Zapdos. There is the Slow Globe as well. Punts down both members on the side of 1620 Kings. Durandalon is out. Benko trying to do what he can, trying to belch up on Captain as well, holding the fort, and the Kings are not out of this one just yet. Captain Thomas Edward M. Hutchings gets the job done. A KO streak of 4. I've been waiting the whole damn day to say that full name, and he clutches it out for his team. Sure, Ground Zero, they're gonna answer back some KOs, but look at the defense. It's already up for the 1620 Kings.
Everything paid off to that Greedon, ladies and gentlemen. That Greedon with that fluffy tail literally allows 1620 to cook that Zapdos away from Ground Zero, taking Suluwu out of the fight early, but Ground Zero is not allowing this to rest.
Hang on, Moonboy, it's not over just yet. There's still 1 minute on the clock. Ground Zero could seal it up right now. Where's the defense? 50 points in. They break open the tier 2. They need to look towards the tier 3. Do they have the scores advantage? They have multiple members here. Benko under a lot of threat. The Squirrel manages to make it back to the respawn area. Gets the kill shields up, gets the Belchers back down. They need to get the touch on the Joe, but they can't. The sustain, the damage, the very gone the wrong way. They finally finish it off. 3 members left on the side of Ground Zero. What else do they have to offer? 2v3 at the moment. Sunumo's trying his damn best. Can't get the points in. Can't get the points in. Has to look towards the tier 2 on the top side. Do they have a defender? Do they have someone who can jump? Absolutely. There's the Hooper. Ken saves it for a team. Squeeze the sentence as well just to put the nail in. Seal the deal. Punch that rabbit straight down to the burrow. You have nowhere to go, my friend. No score for you. And Luch, he's trying to get a last hurrah, but holding on to no points. Pocket empty. Game is empty. Hopes are down. And 16, 20 Kings, they stay alive. It's enough for them. They hold on just by an inch.
16-20 just defended to the very last moment. You think you got the Zapdos? Ground Zero is just gonna push right through down to the very last fight. But 16-20 put a very perfect display of defense right there, and those staggering of respawn is just keeping them alive.
This game is gonna decide which one of these teams will have to say goodbye to. It's kind of unreal to think that Ground Zero might be knocked out at this stage, but that's exactly what we're looking at. These highly prized players in this region could just lose their chance to go to Worlds in this single bout of 10 minutes as we get into the deciding game number 3. Man, this is tight.
Yep, this is the biggest 10 minutes of their life of these two teams coming in as challenge. Might be pressured right here by Danger, being a basic Pokemon with those really heavy attacks coming in from the Duraludon. Like, you know, maybe Challenge might be in a good position to actually challenge Danger in the lane.
Yeah, I mean, I think Danger definitely can provide a lot, but let's not forget Alola Ninetales is one of the early laning terrors as well. Once you get the freezers out, especially backed out with such a competent player like Lush, you can really start to push an advantage. Now, Joe took an early tumble, but still gonna be able to grab most of those Bs up and keep the level parity for now.
Yeah, both of the central area Pokemon rotating straight right to the top side to allow their Steenie to get a little bit more edge against their opponent. But right here, Danger going for the Dragon Pulse as you know, that Safeguard managed to save Lush off the Dragon Pulse as well. But it seems like right here, Ground Zero might be turning on 16-20.
Exactly. I mean, bit of a quiet early stage as well, but that's exactly what we expected, right? Because both of these teams, they're going to take a little bit of time. The real time when they spike is going to be in this mid-game period. Now, nobody on this team, apart from the Dragonites, really sort of scales really well, and of course, I guess the Cinder Ace as well. But for now, Danger, he's left alone here because Bemco's off to his shenanigans, which means as long as he plays safe, he should be A-okay.
Yeah, but however, onto the top side as well, Ground Zero is on the push, taking out the Hoopa of the process, dunking in another 3, another 21. But, you know, seems like right here, Buster might be in a little bit of a trouble as there we go, Ground Zero is just on the push.
Yeah, a bit of a wrong professional there. Right now, he's the one getting chopped up. He has to back off Joe. 2-level advantage onto that opponent's Steenie. And the stomps are coming in. Almost gets the last touch of the Bemco. And Ken and that Squirrel managed to get out of there. Now Captain TMH left alone. Joe still trying to come out with the stomps, but has he been left behind? Not a lot of HP to work with as we didn't see him off screen, but ends up going down. So 16-20 Kings, they bring the reinforcements with the Hoopa Highway and they get that KO.
Well, I mean, that KO coming in, you know, taking by Buster, literally brought him from level 5 to level 7 in one fell swoop. And right here, 16-20 might be having a comeback right here, but 30 points onto Buster. Did he even score enough to get those, you know, stacks on the attack rate?
Yeah, exactly. A lot of emphasis on the top half means that not as many opportunities to stack up those health items. They're still going to get the KO onto Cinder Ace though and start to put on the pressure. Meanwhile, 16-20 Kings claiming up this Dreadnought and they're going to be able to grab it. So huge wins on both sides of the map. Not only taking down that tier 1 Go Zone, not just yet, but still a lot of pressure on both ends of the map.
When you have the Hoopa, you know, you have the privilege to rotate around really cleanly right here. Steenie Majesty onto Buster, 1v3 on the top side. It seems like he's still on the push right here as 4 men from Ground Zero is here to just take him down. But there we have Evolving Ruins.
Yeah, Revolving Rune's gonna be able to take down Dawn at the moment, and that is just about that. Danger, they recognize that Ring of Fire is something they can't penetrate, but doesn't manage to get the last touch off onto the Rotom. Ground Zero able to clean that one up, and they need to be so careful with how they approach, because this spot is where 16-20 Kings can make their stand, and they take out the Cinder Ace in an instant. There goes Joe. He's trying to make a difference. Can the Joe Rina come out into play? The drop kick as well. They managed to get the Go Zone down, but Joe is falling a little low. Gets the sustain up. The Blitz Resistance. Is he gonna do it? it? No, he drops to the deck as hit 16-20 Kings managed to eliminate that threat, thankfully, because you know if he had even one more second, he would just crush them under his knees.
They had the help from Luge. That Blitz assistant was huge, but unable to get out of the Hyper Beam coming in from Captain 10. The amount of damage coming in from the Hyper Beam is just too much for Ground Zero to handle right now. And those rotation coming in, you know, that Hoopa just with those hyperspace holes, it's just so pesky to be dealing with. Right here, Hoopa is at level 8. He's close to level 9 into the second Dreadnought. And those ring and bounds is going to be really scary for Ground Zero to deal with.
Yeah, Koopa Highway next station is this bot path. They're gonna have to make their way here very quickly if they want to contest for this Dreadnought. But like you said, with this Rings Unbound, they can really find a positioning advantage here. But look at Ground Zero, they're already making their way. They've camped up in this brush. We've seen this before, and this is where it all went wrong for Ground Zero. 16-20 Kings, they can make their stand here and continue to dominate. The game is still dead even, but the fact that 16-20 Kings have a member in the brush, they're gonna see this movement. Ken pops the Rings Unbound and the jig is up. They found Buster. There's the trick going back onto Luge. Luge needs to get out of here. Ginger, he's under some threat, but the shields are not enough. Joe gets the Duraludon, and Duraludon as well as the Hoopa are gonna drop to the deck. Captain TMH, he's been in this situation before. Can he catch out for his team? Bemko gonna drop. One Hyper Beam finishes on Sulumu. What else does he have to offer? Another blast, but it's not there. This time the captain will be denied as the Joe Rena is here, and Joe is angry. What's the objective? Here's Danger. Needs to be careful, Ken and Danger. They're rejoining the fight, but a drop kick out. Joe's not done. Joe's not fair. Joe has unfinished business. He needs to finish this Dreadnought. He can take out the Hoopa, but he doesn't actually get the objective. Danger comes back with a vengeance, and now he's in a bit of trouble, but there is the claw to get him out of that situation. It's Buster now, having to drop kick out, doubling it up. Don has to chase on, but not much else to offer. He's the Eldegoss, has the buff, just gonna give that over to Danger, and things fall apart for Ground Zero. They lose out the objective, and now Sulumu as well, forced to eject Button out. Revolving runes, popped by Danger, they want to pressure up. The siege has begun, and here comes 16-20 Kings. They're pushing outside of Ground Zero, making their way into this tier 1. They want to break it apart. Now Bemko, under a bit of threat, but Danger doesn't need the resets. He's just standing there. The pulses are down, and he's gonna be too far forward. The Kings, they need to back off. There's the dash backwards, the sort of the Phantom Force as well. But finally, they take down this Duraludon, and now it's Ground Zero's time to push forward.
There was one long push coming in by 16-20, but those Dragon Pulses from Dean really put to work. Dragon Pulse again. Number 1, taking out that Dreadnought. Number 2, taking out Sulumu. Number 3, destroy Ground Zero, but they were unable to finish their push. Ground Zero came back to just push away 16-20, immediately rotating to the top side, got their Rotom, and they are not allowing this to rest. Yes, I might have lost that fight. I might have lost to Dreadnought, but I'm not gonna lose that Zapdos in that final stretch.
Yeah, and in a bit of a pickle here, the backup comes in full force. They don't manage to get that KO, and now Sulu's are in a bit of trouble. The Hyper Beam narrowly surviving. Oh, that was a close one. Did you see that? Luge with the shields as well. But Captain TMKG is such a threat. Look at the damage. That is not fair.
Wow, I mean the amount of damage coming in from those Hyper Beam, once it's fully charged, it's really difficult to actually run out of that one. The amount of damage is just huge, but right here, Bemko might be caught, but immediately being a pesky squealer as he is, he's running out of the central area.
Eyes on this man on your screen has picked his Siggy over here and is gonna be able to try and make this work. For Ground Zero, try and send him into the grand finals. This could be the way to start it. The Draco Impact, the backup is there. 4 Buster, challenge, gonna pop open the Snow Globe, and the Queen's the center of the opposing Serena. They take down Buster at the start. Very slow into the thick of things, trying to cause rampage. Joe as well, he's falling low. The Angel gets the touch. The Angel gets the double. The Angel stands strong. Danger. It's a danger zone for you, Ground Zero. You have nowhere left to stand. You have no life left. Ground Zero, could they be out of this tournament?
16-20 brought the fight to them. That very flop involving Ruins just literally destroyed Ground Zero apart. Get that Zapdos, march right straight to it, score that goal. Because Ground Zero, I don't want you to go to London. I want to go to London. 1 minute 20 seconds on the clock. Could Ground Zero come back of this one? 300 more points to score is not impossible.
It's not impossible, but it's a tall task. Not one that Ground Zero have been familiar with before. They are not used to being on the back foot. They're always the top of their region. And Bemco, with that belly berry flop, just goes into the fray and causes so much chaos that by the time they even look towards danger, he's already blasting them to bits. Now the 50 points as well from Bemco is just gonna seal the deal. Meanwhile, Ground Zero, they're trying their hardest to push this open. They know they have the disadvantage, so they need to keep pushing forward. Do they have the points in their pocket? It doesn't look like anyone's holding anything substantial. They still have 100 to make. Challenge as well as that Elgos. They need to score Joe going in, but there's the Queen to send it straight to Sulubu. Sulubu is down. No Cinder is for this fight. 30 seconds left. They're trying their best, but the Unite moves, they're there. 60-20 Kings. Have they taken over the throne? Buster standing strong. The Joe Rena wasn't enough. Cleaning up. It's just about over. Danger with the reset. Kian with the Poopa play. And my voice is gone. And so are Ground Zero. The kings of OCE are slain. There's a new ruler. This is my damn kingdom. And 16-20 Kings, they're coming for the throne.
16-20 Kings coming in, calling themselves the king. The Kings, they are here to prove themselves, and they have shown us they can do it. Breaking down Ground Zero in a formidable fashion right there.